If you ever experience frequent leg pain, then our next guest may be able to help. Dr. Charles Moak joins me this morning from Allure Medical, the local leaders in providing treatment of painful, heavy leg symptoms caused by underlying vein disease. Welcome back to you, doctor. What exactly, though, is vein disease?
Okay, so we have our circulation that's got arteries. Our heart pushes blood out to our feet, blood pressure, pulse. There's even diseases that can be associated with that. We're all real familiar with them. But then the veins carry the blood back to our heart. So you have these one-way valves in your legs that allow your calf muscle to pump the blood through this series of valves, and the blood makes its way back. But genetically, some of us are predisposed for those valves to fail, and we call that venous insufficiency or vein disease. And this could lead to really minor things like minor varicose veins or spider veins, but also can lead to restless legs or heavy swollen legs, discoloration, blotchiness, and if it's left untreated, it can actually turn into what's called venous stasis ulcer, which is like a sore on your leg, and that's the worst case scenario.
So what are the symptoms?
Well, the earliest symptom is going to be probably this leg pain or heaviness. Now, there's things like joint pain or your knee, but this is just general leg discomfort or general leg heaviness or general leg swelling, or it could be like really unsightly varicose veins, may have no symptoms or significant symptoms. But even in the absence of seeing bulging veins, you may have vein disease if your legs are swollen and heavy, or blotchiness, discoloration.
Now, you mentioned something, the worst case scenario with, leg wounds, ulcers, but how does something like varicose veins cause something as awful as that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So it's actually not the varicose veins that causes them, it's the cause of the varicose veins that causes the wounds. So what happens is that when the blood's just sitting there, your body's got to make a response. And one of the responses it might make is by growing a bunch of extra veins, which would be varicose veins. If it can't really get rid of the pressure by making varicose veins, the blood starts seeping into the skin. And we start by seeing swelling of the legs, then they get little reddish spots, then they might get brown spots. That's where the skin is starting to break down, and eventually it opens up. And when somebody gets to where they're having heavy legs or swollen legs or discoloration, it gets worse at about 4 or 5% per year, and eventually a big problem occurs. So we really like to catch that once they're either looking bad, they're starting to look somehow ugly in some way where there's discoloration or blotchiness, or they're swollen or they're red, and if you have significant symptoms.
So how do you treat this?
So what first off is you come in, we do what's called a screening exam, where we look at your symptoms and see if it aligns to what we're looking for, venous insufficiency. In that case, we use an ultrasound, and it looks right through the skin and gives us a three-dimensional roadmap. We can see where the problem's at. It's usually 1 or 2 or 3 places in your leg that's not functioning properly. Then, while you're awake, there's no being knocked out for this, we put a little device into it and actually numb it up, and it actually seals up that bad valve or bad vein, and the blood just reroutes. And it really is very quick, and it goes away, and it's pretty much generally permanent.
I know you treat a lot of people at Allure Medical, and so I'm sure you've been asked this a zillion times. Does insurance ever cover the treatment?
That's a great question. Almost all insurance companies cover this, even Medicare, so this is something that's considered medically necessary if you're having symptoms, because if we don't treat it, it actually gets worse, and it costs a lot more to deal with problems of untreated venous insufficiency than just fixing it.
And how did Allure become the leading vein treatment provider?
So we've had a real successful business in Michigan, and we were kind of really focused on trying to wipe out what's called wound care. That's where you treat the ulcers that occur. And we found out we had a really good method for doing this, so then we started spreading nationwide to lower wound care or healthcare costs in communities by bringing modern treatments. Because what's being done today with these really, say, sore legs and problems of legs is really old-fashioned. It's been around 100 years, but the newer technology has been around about 15 years. So we could bring that to a region, lower healthcare costs, improve people's quality of life.
Well, thank you. That's great information. We appreciate it. And as a fellow Michigander, good to see you, and thank you for the snow report.
Yeah, thank you.
For more information about Allure Medical and to schedule your free leg screening, go to alluremedical.com or call 502-215-0982. And coming up, more